weight of it felt like it had a whole lot of stories from it. And it was delivered actually because his brother had passed away. And this was the remaining of his belongings. So the suitcase, when he came home, his name is Gary, he looked at the box and he took it out and he left the suitcase like in the middle of the room and he didn't want to touch it. And it sat there for a while, then he pushed it under the table and it just kept it out of the way. And finally, like maybe almost took him a couple of weeks before he actually started going in there and seeing what was in it. And so I felt like, and then he kind of just like put it again back under the table. But it kept talking. The suitcase kept saying other things to me as I would pass by, as I would look under the table. I said, let me bring this suitcase out. And from that, these different stories came out because we always, as human beings, we're always carrying stuff around. Mentally, psychologically, some physically, some just, in a corner of a room or in another room, in your home, that we refuse to either look at or tuck it away because we can't look at it anymore. And in that, this one story came out, which we're going to do today. But from that first reading that I did this past, I think, fall, they had said, oh, this could be, more stories can be from that. So I wrote 2 more over this winter. And so, which we'll do today, along with the 3rd one. So this is called the Suitcase Trilogy, and each one I will announce which one you're going to see first. But before, I'm also a percussionist, and I just like to set the tone and put some music out there. And kind of like, whatever you're feeling, maybe something's heavy on your heart, this music has a way of moving that. So this is called a steel tongue drum. The first one of the trilogy is called 52nd Floor. This is pretty much an ode to Karen Smith because I actually experienced this particular story myself. In this particular story, it's a woman and a voice. Woman played by Suzanne Burgess, and the voice is played by Ed Selman. It takes place in the 80s, late 80s. It also takes place in a bathroom in a commercial building. The stage is with a closed bathroom stall, a sink and a mirror. And the fourth wall is the window. The woman walks into the bathroom, looks under the stall, and goes to the sink. And just stares into the mirror for a few seconds before going into her bag. She pulls out a book and a pen. She begins to write for a few seconds and looks back into the mirror.
Today is the day. I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. And I wrote it right here.
Stared into the mirror.
I'm going to say goodbye to all the pain, the horror, the dissatisfactions, the traumas and the flashbacks, and the future disappointments.
Writes a little more in her book.
Sorry to all that had to deal with my ups and downs. I wasn't happy about that either, but no worries. In a few, I will be the happiest ever. I'm out of here for real. I am. No more wandering around from place to place, from storage rooms to various attics and garages. I'm leaving it all behind. I'm done!
She has paper up and out and shakes it at the mirror.
And I don't care! I don't! And I give up! I'm surrendering, finally. Call me what you like, but I know that this is never going to get better. I have a plan, and this time, I'm not going to back out.
Looks at her papers.
And this time, no one will stop me. No more clinics, no more medications, no more emergency rooms, no more hotlines, no more. What a relief it is to be this clear. I'm clearing the clutter for real. For real. And I will not be a burden to myself or anyone else. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Dumps her bag in the middle of the floor.
And they probably won't find me for a few days. That's their problem, not mine. But problems will not be a part of the equation anymore.
She sees some pictures on the floor.
Yep. I'm sorry, Mom. But I know you'll understand. I know you will. You'll see. I just couldn't take another round of me and my stuff anymore. And I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming anyone.
So why are you doing it?
Because I can. It's my life and it's my choice.
And she realizes he's not alone.
Hey.
You are right. It is your life, but each life touches another. That's the cycle of life.
I don't care. I just checked the stalls, and I am the only one supposed to be in here.
We are never really alone.
Okay, okay. That's probably my mind.
Looks under the stalls again.
Yep, this is probably what happens just before you end your life. Gabriel or something speaks to you. Woo-hoo. I thought I was going crazy.
If you say so.
I heard this before. And besides, this is not my first go around with suicide, but this time will be the last time. Because I have a plan, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Before, I was afraid, but this time, I'm not. Before I played games like leaving a note where someone could find it before I was going to jump off or something, or take some pills right before someone would find me, or cut my wrists in a public place. No, it's just me. It's just me, And of course, you gatekeeper.
What makes you so sure this time, if I may ask?
I'm beyond hopelessness. I feel less than a person that desires. I am tired to the infinite degree. More than done. Way more than done.
I see.
Will I really see you once I really cross over?
What do you really need to see?
Excuse me?
What would make you change your mind?
Point to the audience.
I'm going to jump out of this bathroom window. And nothing is going to change my mind.
I see.
Yes!
Is it dark all the time for you?
Yes. Every day.
No bright moments at all?
No, well, not enough.
Well, what is enough?
Huh?
What would your enough look like? If you could call it, what is it?
Well, I would never have to worry about anything.
Okay, like what?
Like having enough love, support, not having to be alone, not having enough of everything.
Enough of...
Which can leave you just feeling hopeless and scared and afraid of what's next.
How old are you?
24.
Oh,
What does that have to do with it?
you are at the center of possibilities. You are willing to stop the possibilities that could make a difference in the way you are feeling.
Jumping up and down.
I can't stand it when you do this to me. I don't want to listen to you again. You are setting me up again, and I'm not going to fall again and again and again. It's my decision, and I'm going to do it this time.
You will miss the upswing. You will miss the next right. You will miss the turn, the finally going your way. You will miss the door really opening. You will miss smoothness of time. Time isn't always anything.
I haven't seen that. Only the flat line of time. And nothingness. Pure empties. The loneliness with a room full of people. I've been miscast. And so, I'm ready for my new role. I'm ready to take the other leap. It's too dark. It's too tight. I can't leave anymore. I'm ready for goodbyes, farewells. See you on the other side.
So much more to unpack. Try to lift it.
Try to lift what?
The suitcase.
That's not mine.
How do you know?
Cause I walk in with just, where's my?
Where is your what? Your strength? Your patience? Your gratitude? Your humbleness?
To the mirror.
I must be the only person on this planet that can't even get their own exit right.
That is yours.
I never own anything like.
Tries to pick it up.
It's so tight.
Maybe because it is filled with all the to comes.
Really? It's a beautiful suitcase. It seems like it has so many stories.
Yes, they all do. So why try to end something that has such a rich herstory?
I'm tired.
You will be. It's a natural feeling.
Don't I have the right?
To what? Give up before the real miracle happens?
I guess not.
Take baby steps with yourself. You are worth it. By the way, window guards became mandatory by September 1987.
But this is 1984.
You are needed to help spearhead that committee.
What?
Looks around then into the mirror.
Revelation.
Picks up the suitcase was a struggle.
Thank you.
Begins to exit, then turns back.
I guess you're right. There's more work to do.
She takes a few more steps then to the audience.
And I am worth it.
Walks out with a heavy suitcase, blackout. Any comments for this piece? Any feedback? The writer, the characters, any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody?
Yeah, I like the voice. I like the voice she heard, you know, talking to her.
She was so young to be under her life. Such a dramatic way, like not taking pills or anything, but to jump out the window. So, just
I think you captured the anxiety of people who struggle with that, you know, disorder. So this is necessary focus on it. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Karen, because for me, I've been in that place. And, you know, given more time, it would just be really interesting to explore all of that again. But it's kind of brought back, and I think everybody kind of goes through this at some time or another in their life when, you know, being young and having to make decisions on your own, and it just seems like the bottom falls out. Constantly trying to make decisions, you know, just bad things continuing to happen. And nowadays, with there being there's just so much pressure on young people, you know, with school and trying to compete. I just really thank you for putting it on paper, because I think depression and suicide is something, it's one of those things that people don't want to talk about. But it is an everyday struggle.
Sure is. Moment to moment, I
So
say.
thank you for sharing it.
And I wrote this because this is my true story, because at 24, this was my plan. I worked in an office, and at that time, window guards were not mandatory, and I worked on the 52nd floor. And that was my plan every day as I was dealing with my depression, at this temp job that I really didn't like, and it wasn't helping. And I would go in this bathroom, and the bathroom had this big window. I was like, wow, nobody would ever know. For a while anyway, and I kept making this plan, And the voice that I heard happened to be this woman that friended me at the job. She started talking to me, and that was the voice. She didn't know. I didn't confide in her what I was thinking, but you know, she kept like including me on different things. You know, she would introduce me to other people that were there. You know, she made me feel at home, and that gave me that get through that next moment. You know, because I had a plan. I was like, I'm going to do this. And I would work late so I could do it when no one was really there, you know. But she, and I'll give her a name, Carmen Rodriguez, who I know to this day. You know, she saved my life at that moment. Because it was that moment, it's just that moment. Even though those moments could last for weeks, months, years.
Yes.
But it's that one little moment, you know, if you could just get to that moment. So, thank you. Great.
I assume that Karen cast me as someone's conscience because she knows full well I don't have one of mine.
Definitely don't have one, so you fit the part perfectly. The next piece is called Spooked.
Do you
assume that Karen cast me as someone's conscience because she knows full well I don't have one of mine.
Definitely don't have one, so you fit the part perfectly. The next piece is called Spooked. It's played by Pat. She's a 50-plus-year-old Muslim woman and very wise among her years. That's Pat McLean. And Jill Stoll will play woman 2. She's a 60-plus Caucasian woman and very suspicious of everything. And the time is now, and it takes place in some transportation center. And a lot of noise is heard as the lights rise and the two characters enter from different directions of the stage as the sounds slowly fade out.
Excuse me. I hope I didn't miss it. Well, like they say, always another one coming. Are you late too? That's always a good idea. Relieves the stress. Do you know what time the next one will arrive?
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
Do you have to sit so close?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying.
I'm never really comfortable traveling alone.
Oh, time doesn't change that fast.
Wish it would. Look, I'm not inclined to have conversations with strangers.
Oh, I guess I'm a stranger.
Yeah,
Or are you a stranger too?
I just want to I just want to keep to myself, and I'm already uncomfortable.
Oh, I don't like traveling alone either.
And exchange various looks at each other and then separately begin to recognize a suitcase on the bench.
You must be going far. I guess that would make me uncomfortable too. Alone and all.
That's none of your business.
Okay, sorry.
I can't wait for this to be over.
Excuse me?
You must be traveling far.
Excuse me?
Well, that's a nice size suitcase you have there.
Oh, I thought that was yours.
Mine? No, that's not mine. I've never seen it before.
Okay, I believe you.
And then two walks over it again towards the suitcase.
I thought you people travel in bunches.
What people?
Your type.
My type? You mean short?
No, you Muslims. You're never alone. You usually have a maid and children, or you're walking with other women, or your men are together, possibly planning to take something over.
What? Where did you get an idea like that from?
I've seen you. That's why we can't fly anymore, without being searched in every which way. Nothing's private.
That's my fault.
Well, maybe not your fault, but your practice.
My practice is peace, man.
You create havoc and destruction, causing all kinds of wars. You've made it difficult to travel safely anywhere.
Are you sure that's not yours?
Point to the suitcase.
Oh, I don't know why I said that. Please hurry up.
Are you still running away from your past? Do you think that if you travel to a new place, you or anyone that thinks like you won't be there?
What are you accusing me of? I am not a racist.
Most people who say that they are not and say it loud, like yourself, usually are.
You don't know me.
You don't know me either. But you looked at me and what I represented and you immediately thought.
I didn't, well, you know, the way I was raised.
Okay, that's resolved. Blame the others around you. You were a child, innocent. How would you know? The old somebody had control and spoon-fed information to me, right?
I don't have to explain anything to you.
White privilege.
What?
You don't have to explain. That's very fortunate. to live in a world of oneness. Only us, others not allowed.
Bump into the suitcase.
Ouch. I have no idea what you are talking about.
The last to be suspect of, the right party, the originals, the started with.
Why is it late this time?
Afraid of the truth, nothing is really coming. Everything has already arrived. You have landed and reached your destination. No one is on this particular journey with you. It's you and only you. No one to blame now but yourself.
Begins to leave.
I'm gonna walk. I've had enough of this.
Where are you going to leave it this time?
Leave what?
Your bag of ignorance, your narrow-minded, your entitlement, your arrogance, your need to control everything.
I didn't build this world. I was here and already like this when I arrived. Don't blame me for what others have do and done.
Like you just did me?
Well, that's not...
The same? It never is.
Both women sit down and look straight out to the audience for a brief time as the sounds become extremely loud of the transportation station.
Looks like the arrival time is finally here.
I'm not sure why we met, but I do believe it's for a reason.
Reason.
Oh, sorry, that's okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe that is mine.
She tries to pick it up
Let me help you.
and grabs it with a struggle too.
I have a long ride ahead.
I know.
They slowly exit together as the sound of the transportation setting returns and then blackout. Questions, comments, concerns? Questions?
How did it feel actually playing those characters? Did any part of it resonate with you or rub you the wrong way, and so you had to kind of play into that, or how did it feel for you?
It didn't rub me the wrong way because I've actually experienced, not this particular incident, but similar incidents. And I don't know, I don't want to say that you get used to it, but you learn to sort of, not even brush it off, but you're so used to it that, it's, to me, it's the lack of not knowing. They don't know me and I don't know them. I don't know their journey any more than they know mine, so I don't get angry about things that happen like that. It's a learning time for me and for the other person, I hope. But I've experienced it.
I don't know if I've experienced it coming from this other position. I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose I have. I suppose I've been guilty of, I'm actually recalling a couple of situations where my language wasn't intentional, but did strike something that wasn't correct. I don't even like to use the word politically correct, but insensitive or not thoughtful or not aware of the impact of coded language. So I'm more and more aware of that, of my role in that, in body gesture or expressions.
To me, she did just say something that sort of made me think about, like, the way things are now, as they were different when I was younger. She just said something about coded, and you have to be careful of how you say and do things. When I was coming up, it was just right there. It was always there in your face, and you just knew what was happening and what was coming at you. Right now, it's a little more subtle sometimes, and again, sometimes the other person's not even aware of what they're saying or doing. And so, and the same thing, with me, I'm not aware. So I kind of like this because it lets me maybe go inside myself to think about how I see things and say things, and don't want to prejudge or pre-assume anything.
Anybody else? Comments?
Well, basically, this ties into a course that I'm taking right now on campus. It's my it's the intro into peace and conflict studies. And basically with what you just said, understanding microaggressions. And with the dialogue that you just had with her when she was saying you people in packs and stuff like that, it's just the small things that are kind of derogatory, but they don't mean it,
Right.
but it's just how it comes out, like you just said. So, decided on that course.
And we all have to realize that we come from different, we don't know the next person's background or what they've gone through, just like with the last piece. You never know what the person next to you is going through or what they've been through. So a lot of times people act out of their environment. Yeah, experience what they know. And so it's not necessarily like negative, like, you know, I hate all black people, I hate all white people, or I hate all Russian people. It's not that. It's from their experience there, that they're acting from that. And sometimes they're thrust into a new environment, and you only bringing that old experience with you, then you don't really know how to. So
That's right, that's right, that's true. And don't let the media play a role in it.
yes.
That's what I was thinking, about the role of the media, how powerful it is, and how amped everybody was up around 9/11. When, you know, in this decade later, we find out that it was really the U.S. government's plotted plan. They planned that. And it had nothing to do with Middle Eastern people. They just used that as a way to scare up the consciousness of Americans so that we could be giving them some kind of a blessing to go in the Middle East and usurp all the countries there and take over the countries and steal the oil. You know, so, but yet the media would have us think that we have this enemy in Middle Eastern people. And what the Middle Eastern people are saying that, you know, whether you realize or not, but while you're asleep, your government is coming into our countries and destabilizing us. And this is why we're protesting. We're protesting the only way we know how to protest. But yet they villainize us because they're covering their sleuth activities behind closed doors.
Yes.
So the media is very powerful.
Gonna be my next play,
Our
distractions.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
Ryder? At the end, why did you have both of them pick up the suitcase and try and move it, rather than one character versus the other?
I think because a lot of times she helped point out some things that she wasn't aware of. And I'm not mad, I'm not even faulting you, because she has probably her biases too, as well. But I think we can still work together, you know. You can help me with mine as I help you with yours. Because she said she was about peace, so that was just kind of like my idea of what could happen. Not really that they would do that, but you know, it's a possibility.
And we talked about it when we were rehearsing together. We also talked about the end, how picking up the suitcase was a way for each woman to symbolize that we both have a lot to carry. We're both carrying a lot of stuff. And what better way for us to make it through this world is to help each other carry what, you know, all the things that we have in our suitcase.
Yeah, and I'll tag that. I think that's really good, and I think the ending stands out the most to me as far as an antidote, because you're right, everybody does have something, but we all have these quiet, preconceived opinions about things. They're quiet, but they happen, and the bottom line is remedy. And solutions. So the acknowledgement of me knowing that, hey, I've got some pretty jacked up ideas about some people. You know, if they say six of them walking on the sidewalk, I'm crossing over. It's that kind of thing, and that's what it spoke to me. So, and I guys did a great job.
You did a great job. They did a great job. Thank you. Deja?
Desperate personality and overbearing attitude. And then there's a person, no age limit. The actor can either be a male or female. The setting is now, it takes place in a living room, in a modest home, working class neighborhood, just outside of city limits. The scene opens with a couple entering. Being semi-dark, they are dressed in traditional funeral attire. 10 to 15 minutes of non-verbal interaction. The actors spend their time doing their ritual, taking off their outer garments, checking messages, phone, mail, papers, etc. Until the phone rang. Each look at the other until the man goes to answer the phone.
Hello? Yeah? Thank you for letting us know you got home. Okay. hold on. It's Junior. Your mother is happy too that you made it home, huh? I know, yeah. Does school start tomorrow for our babies? Yeah, well, it's a good thing you left early. Boston is a nice ride, son. Marianne looked great. Yeah. She really dropped the weight after the twins. Real fast. Well, get some rest. Well, we'll be here, and if you want, you can call again soon. Junior, thank you for coming to your uncle's services. He would really have appreciated it. Right. Well, your sister didn't call yet. Her flight was delayed. Okay. Well, I will call you when she gets in. But you know, I don't know nothing about them celly phone boys. Well, yeah. Well, that makes your mother nervous anyway. Yeah, I guess we'll see you for the holidays. Right. We'll drive to you this year. Okay, Junior. I love you too. Yes, she sure do too. Mm-hmm.
Leaves the phone and then walks over to the television and begins to flip through the channels. Junior,
Yep.
did you get home all right?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
TV truly gone to the crazies.
Yep.
We haven't traveled anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't gone nowhere in a plane.
Yep.
We haven't gone nowhere in a boat.
Oh.
We haven't gone far in a car. No real adventure, Sam, I am.
Oh, green eggs and ham.
Well, am I right
You're right.
about what I said?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
You're right.
you said that already.
Because you are right.
What's my name?
You know what your name is.
I do, but you don't.
How do you sound?
Listen, can a couple be together as long as we have to live in the same place, doing the same jobs, raise their kids, and all it amounts to is 40 years of what? Who are you? How did I get here? How could I have settled for it? How did I let you talk me into this?
Commercial.
Begins to rise. You didn't listen to one word I said.
You're right again.
Is that how it works? You just tune me out? You've been tuning me out all these years. That is the formula for longevity. And gets up and walks out of the room. She watches him leave and returns back shortly with 2 cups.
Coffee?
Is that what the poison is inside that? He sips on both of them and then hands her one.
Just the way you like it.
Is this what has kept me running away from you? Physically. This cup of Java? This has kept me bonded to you for more than 40 years.
Yep, that's just the way you like it.
I am talking to a wall. However, a real wall would at least crack from all the pressure it gets from the dead weight.
You think I don't really hear you?
I don't think we hear each other. My brother's dead.
I know. We just came back from the services and the repairs.
I feel like I've never even did one.
Hmm.
I am walking around in a state of zombieism. I just go on automatic. When I wake up, there's no real stimulation. No other than I'm still obligated. Obligated. But to what?
Coffee?
What?
My cup is cold.
Not surprised.
Commercial?
Rises.
Oh, can I reheat yours?
You couldn't if you tried.
Pops on the chair.
Let me know if I missed anything.
He exits.
Nothing. More nothing. Nothing. Adds up to $79 a month, $948 a year, 3 million channels and 400 movie channels, and still there's nothing to watch.
He returns.
Just like here in this space.
That's better.
Do you love me?
What?
Do you love me?
We have 2 wonderful children, 3 grandchildren, and we've been together since we met more than 40 years ago.
Yes, we have. Doesn't answer the question.
I took care of you when you were sick, going through that chemo, sat up night and day praying for your comfort. I went with you to every appointment until the doctor said you were free of cancer.
I'm waiting.
That is my answer.
I put up with. That's what it sounds like. I put up with. Well, I have my own list too.
Woman goes to her desk drawer and pulls out her book, puts the book on his lap.
What is this?
It's my journal. It's my proof of what I've been going through. All these walls around me during our so-called connection, our family daily routine. The time that's passed from day to day, moment to moment, second to second. I wrote my volumes of our lives. This represents 1 million.
You sure have the best penmanship.
This book, these writings were my release, my get through the day moments, my it's gonna be all right times. My, what was I thinking when I said I do situations?
He flips through the book.
Anything in here about my mother?
It was enough just writing about us. My personal research on my time with you. The day to day, the weeks to weeks, the months, and the years to years.
See, I never thought about writing.
I'm sure.
I was never really good at putting the right words together. I don't ever remember writing a letter.
No.
Not even to Santa at Christmas. I guess everybody can't do everything. Oh, don't want to miss putting in my numbers.
What about what I just said?
I always hear you, always.
Man places the book on the chair and begins to head towards his coat.
If you leave, don't you come back. What did you say? If you walk out that door, don't bother to come back.
Hi.
And begins to put on his coat.
We're not going any farther than we already have. Playing your numbers are much more important than talking to me. Talking to us, talking about us. Communicating what's not happening. And nothing really happens since we've been together. Nothing's been happening.
We've come a long way, I feel.
A long way from what? To what? To what?
You really don't want me to come back?
Correct.
Ever?
Right.
I've always come back, even when I didn't want to.
What?
I'd return home.
What?
I had to return home.
When?
Huh?
When did you not want to?
Return?
Well,
Counting this time?
counting this time.
433 times, not including holidays and anniversaries.
Be serious.
I am serious.
Well, don't count this time, grab a journal, because I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave, and it will be the only time I've thought about it, but we'll go through with it, okay? Oh, do you doubt my actions?
No.
Well then, let's do some drawers.
Well then, I have less than 10 minutes to go put my numbers in.
You are really going to do that.
Don't I always?
Like clockwork, still searching in the living room area.
Do you want anything from the store?
I want the same thing you've been giving me for 40 plus years. Nothing! Not even hope. Our relationship has been so mechanical and so predictable, lifeless.
Just going through the motions.
Right.
Watch this man begin to walk towards the door.
I do mean it.
He still walks towards her.
You don't believe me?
Life is a strange animal. I mean, you can live to be 1,000 years old and still not have any idea of what's next. What do you do? How to handle, experiences constantly flow in and out, and yet and still you're stunned by the next moment. Unpredictable would be the wrong thing to call it. I mean, have you been living in or out of state, or is it okay to be comfortable, and snuggling at night until, you're afraid to move or afraid of a real challenge? I mean, we're not even a challenge to each other. We don't even make each other flinch. Fear of moving away, it doesn't even cross our minds. Because we are so stuck in the comfort zone. But today I will take the challenge. I'm gonna free myself right now by going for my usual 2-minute sprint and play my same 6 numbers and come back here to only find you here in that same spot where I left you. Or not. Maybe you are really saying that you had enough. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't anybody? Yet it doesn't work that way. And frankly, I will never know. I mean, I don't never know why. But I'm gonna do what I always do this time of the day and come back and sit right there, back in that chair and watch mindless, endless programming until it
He
happens.
grabs his coat, opens the door, and a suitcase is sitting in the doorway.
Did you plan, did you have this planned?
What?
The suitcase outside the door.
I didn't even see you leave. I am lost. It's not my sin.
Man brings it in, but struggles with the weight of the suitcase.
Well, I didn't even see you leave the room.
It isn't mine.
Well, it's not mine either.
You gotta be playing with me.
Pardon?
I didn't see it coming. You had a plan. You planned to head out the door. You planned to head out the door and not come back. And you packed this suitcase while I wasn't looking.
When could I have done that?
I don't know, but it's not impossible.
They both look strangely at the suitcase for a moment.
I don't own anything like this.
Well, you could have borrowed it.
Right, I could have, but why?
Because you were just waiting for the right moment. You were waiting for the right moment to walk away from all of this.
Oh, I
He
see.
sits back down with his coat on.
I didn't know all of this was going on. Thank you for clearing it up.
Why would you leave me? Why would you leave me without at least telling me what you were feeling?
Huh? This isn't my suitcase. I never owned anything like this.
So you're saying it's mine?
Well, no, but it isn't mine either.
Were you expecting company?
Can we talk about this after I play my numbers?
Is that more important than what we're talking about right now?
It is only down the street, less than 2 minutes. That's all I need.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Our lives together has consisted of many 2 minutes that evolved into over 40 years. And I'm resentful. That we should be talking, that's what we should, we should be talking about that right now.
Resentful. You are resentful, and what am I? Mr. Tolerant? Am I not the master of look the other way? Am I not the welcome mat for everyone to wipe his feet on? Resentful? Your books may be full, but my shelves are overflowing with ignored and the obvious. Now, I got 30 seconds to run down and play my one day I'm going to get the hell out of here from fantasy jackpot. And that's going to keep me sane. And I'm going to do it.
He exits, woman stands at the doorway and then walks over to the suitcase. She examines it only from the outside for a few, then tries to open it. After a few attempts of opening the suitcase, that man returns.
Found out anything?
No, other than the obvious.
He hangs up his coat.
Well, it's not mine. And from the way you're struggling to open it, it's not yours either.
Goes back to the chair and picks up the remote.
See what I missed from this game?
Has it been one big game? I always would fantasize about my future when I was a kid. How I would one day live in this huge castle and have many to serve me and make me feel like a queen. All the days would be so happy and would be so loved and appreciated by my family, our royal family. Nothing but sunshine and never any darkness.
I thought they traded this guy.
Why hasn't there been love? Isn't it natural to love? Where was ours?
What a waste.
It wasn't in the beginning like this, was it? We did have some attraction, right?
She's trying to open the suitcase.
It was our first time. That's what we had in common. We both never been with anybody else. We both were painfully shy and awkward. We saw each other daily passing through the hallways of our high school corridor. A little smile or glance or blush. Our way of flirting. Our way of connecting.
Found him out!
And then you got the nerve to ask a friend of yours to pass me a note. On that note it said, "Hi," with a little heart over the I. Wow, I thought I was so special from that point. Especially with the abuse that I received at home. The emotional destruction that took place daily from parents that didn't even like or love each other eventually. A bitter divorce followed and dragged us siblings into our worst nightmares. Over and over again, I only had that hi to comfort me at night. To over the I, my yes to a better tomorrow.
Wish they would get a stronger point guard.
You know, this suitcase won't even open.
Maybe because it isn't yours.
You're right. You are so right. It wasn't time. None of it is. The dreams were always unattainable. Dissolved at the sight of light. Yet I held on. I had nothing. I had nothing to compare it to but my own fantasy.
I can't believe that shot went in!
She begins to use the suitcase. The suitcase is so stubborn, just like me. I wasn't open to the possibilities that the what ifs. Just stay familiar. Just stay with this crazy. This new crazy might be worse.
Now I'm scoring tired.
Bonded together before you know it. The time did nothing but tick, going forward so fast. I couldn't think. Think about what? Readjust? Make an adjustment? Take 2 steps to the left at least? Please, don't keep going into the blaze. Yet there was nothing else. Nothing else better. No other offers.
Could have gone to college.
I didn't hear that. I just wanted to get out the horror. The daily punishments because you existed. Because they were unhappy and didn't know how to give happiness to us kids. I hope I gave happiness to my children. I hope.
They are fine.
How would you know? You can't take your good eye off of what you're doing and continue to view our life together with a bad one. Seeing the empty and thinking it's full.
Not my suitcase. My suitcase is full of trips to places that are full of possibilities and beyond. Dreams always come true. There is no black or white or gray areas. Hope is a must. It exists like chance. Yet the chances are guaranteed. Nothing ever fails, nothing. You step out on faith and you end up riding rainbows. The skies are more than the limit.
He rises, walks towards it, and points to the suitcase.
That's not my suitcase.
She kicks it. You are so in the way of my potential. You really have been an unnecessary obstacle. She kicks it again. Why? I don't want to be stuck anymore. She tries to open it. I just wanted to unload. I want to let go. I want a different view. I am suffocating. My walls don't have windows. My walls are plain. My walls are crumbling every day. My walls are stained and tainted with blood of the old, the traditional, the fall in line, do what's expected of you, don't scream outward, only inward. My roof is caving in. She rips the suitcase. Why? Why do I still want to hold on? Pulls out his body.
My daily prayer, my quiet quest. I can make it once this happens. I can't make it any other way, really. But once I become a millionaire, this is my ticket out. Really, otherwise I stay till I continue to stay till.
You promised to love, honor. It seemed like I wanted to be your wife, your life partner, but never a soulmate. We were so young. Hi, with a heart over the eye. Then 40 years later, we are here, heartless, going through the motions. We barely say hi anymore. And I want, and you want, and we don't get. We don't get other than what we have. Existence. What is love? I don't know. I know I must have read about it, or I've seen it in the movies or in television. But when it was put into my lap, my giving birth didn't spark that love. Just to take care of, but I I take care of. But what about love? What about love?
Well, you are a stranger, and you know more than everyone in this house. This place that exists with these people that I have spent over 40 years with, taking care of, raising, overseeing, or being some kind of leader, embracing the wounded because it's there, being in a state of okay and living for my private conversations with myself. And any passerby who will listen, not resolve, but just listen. Listen to my empty talk, drowning in my own words, moving backwards with my feet, but going forward, still standing and still in the middle of the oceans of my concerns. I thought I was doing the right thing. I always been like that, thinking I'm doing the right thing. And never from the heart, just mechanical. Doing the right thing. Does that make me a villain or a victim?
Are we to that point? Choosing sides? Flipping a coin? Heads or tails? Call it, please. Heads or tails?
You would think I put something in her drink. I mean, every pot of coffee made was drugged. The ring she wears controls her every move by me. I have a giant system that connected to her so that her wedding ring makes her do, and she does whatever I tell her to, right?
I gave up college. I gave up a career in public affairs. I gave up my figure to have those 2.1 additions, to settle for grandparenthood, to settle for 9 to 5 instead of a career. Just pushing buttons, connecting abstract dots. I followed the road that was familiar instead of challenging. An epic or the dangerous. I secretly wanted more though. Once again, I settled. I settled for. I spilled so much, I just can't stop. I have unloaded so much. I just can't stop. I can't go back. I can't cover up or hide it or tuck it away so neatly. I just can't stop now. It's out in the open.
What a performance. What a great performance of being the victim of circumstances. I mean, more, please, more. I don't keep your subject waiting. You're much larger, you're much longer than that, Your Majesty one.
I thought we were going down the same path just one day. Our paths would really meet and mean something. More. What was actually happening?
I was being responsible, and it seemed like that was the right thing to do. I don't have any role models other than what I saw on television. My family thought I was gay. I spent so much time alone, doing things quietly, even secretively. Some shameful. You just don't talk about it.
I was being responsible. And it seemed like that was the right thing to do. I didn't have any role models other than what I saw on television. And my family thought I was gay. I spent so much time alone, doing things quietly, even secretly. Some shameful. You just didn't talk about it.
I like the touch of women's clothing, that's all. I mean, I tried to tell him that not to be a woman, just the touch and the smell of clothing. It only happened one time. I put them on when I was 9. I was real careful, but it just made me feel good, safe, and kind of.
But I was being responsible, and it seemed like that was the right thing to do. I didn't have any role models other than what I saw on television. My family thought I was gay. I spent so much time alone, you know, doing things quietly, a little secretly, some shameful. You just didn't talk about it.
I got beaten by every man in my life, probably struggling with the same issues. Every man. But I wasn't gay. I mean, I really wasn't. I'm still not gay. I never even tried anything ever again. I mean, never, I swear.
I was just practicing. Didn't think anything was wrong with pretending. I was in my room. No one was supposed to come in without knocking.
I swear. I don't think that way. I really don't. I love women, right? I mean, isn't this proof? I'm married with children. I'm a grandparent, for God's sake. I don't even think about it anymore. I don't have any interest in being with men. So, you know, just women. And one woman, you. I've never been with anyone else. I've never cheated.
I was butt naked with my dolls all over me. Why did they scream? Why did they yell so loud? I mean, why? I wasn't doing anything wrong. Right.
Faithful. I've always been faithful, no matter what. And I still feel them beating on me sometimes. Even in their minds, they are beating on me, judging me for what? I am in space of contentment, and still you look at me like, you know, something else. Nothing, there's nothing to know.
I still feel them. They're yelling and burning my dolls and beating me till I bled. Wicked, I was called. Devil's child. They are still judging me. For what? I lived in a space of contentment with all my possibilities, drowning me, all of them. High, with the heart over it. Free me from cold beads.
Doorbell is heard. Man and woman just stare for a few seconds, and she goes off stage to answer the door. Man collapses in the chair and wipes his face when we return.
Hello.
Hello?
Didn't mean to startle you.
Okay, I don't know who you are.
Right.
You come in my house and I wasn't sure who you are.
Sorry.
He left something?
Pardon?
Yes, I was about to ring your bell and your neighbor, my cousin, saw me. Told me that I was at the wrong door as I put my bags down. Came up from the south to spend some time with my family that I haven't seen for years, but I also forgot my seeing glasses. These are my sunglasses. He came over and we grabbed the bags, but left one. Fat one.
Oh.
It's not yours or mine?
Oh.
Yep. This bag gets around. Had it for years. Don't remember how I acquired it, but can't do without.
Oh?
Yep. She's my good luck piece, too. We've seen a lot together. I've been taking it with me everywhere I go. Everywhere.
Beautiful suitcase.
Yep. And special. Very special. Well, I appreciate you letting me in. Hope she wasn't any trouble.
He gets a pickup suitcase.
Not really.
Excellent. She has a way of changing lives.
Yes.
You folks look like a whole lot of something just exploded.
Why would you say that? He grabs the suitcase.
Every time I leave this here suitcase somewhere,
He opens it.
it always comes back empty.
Woman and man look at each other as the lights fade to black. End of story. Question mark. Questions?
Happiness in the midst of it and waiting to hit that lottery, so. You produce more than you can perform. Yeah, so.
You know, then whenever you hit the lottery, then you're miserable. You're rich, but you're still miserable.
Yeah.
Because all that stuff that's
No, we'd all be working, we'd be
all that stuff
performing
is in you is
somewhere.
still in you.
Yeah, we'd all be performing somewhere. I don't even need to make money off of it, we would just be working. You know, yeah.
You did well.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing this in production with that 10 or 15 minutes of interaction with no dialogue in the beginning, because I think that will also help to kind of further set this tone of we're kind of in a rut. We're kind of, this is our ritual. This is what we do. We come in every day. I pick up this cup. I drink this. I sit here in this chair. I put this away. You know, we don't even have to talk to each other. We just go through this thing. And I think that will really help to even further set the tone for all of the other symbols in the lottery ticket. That's like my hope that I'm holding on to. And, you know, here's a suitcase and what it's packed with or not. So I'm looking forward to
And
seeing that.
interesting that, because that would be, in many cases, that's all, we start off, that's what we want. You know, married, 2 point whatever, kids and a dog, and then you get that, and then like,
Now what?
Yeah.
Is that all there?
is that, take a lead?
Anybody else who didn't say anything? Anybody? You got any comment?
All three of the stories, and you listen to stories, you put the personal touch on it. So for me, the different topics just resonated. The first one about depression, I think we all go through depression at some point in our lives. I'm a registered nurse, and one of the things that people do with suicide is they often try and rationalize it. You know, I wouldn't have did this, or why did she do that, or, you know, whatever the situation happens to be. But when you have illness, you just can't do that, you know, with that type of illness, psychiatric, mental health, that sort of thing. The second trilogy with the Muslim script, and I'm not really for people that know me, have known me for a really long time, when they first meet me, they think I'm not like warm and fuzzy. And I did a lot of traveling when I was in my 20s and 30s, and then I kind of like didn't travel for a long time. And I just got back from Morocco 2.5 weeks ago. So I was in a country that was, you know, that's 95% Muslim, and we all have our preconceived notions about life and people and such. And you just have to let it go. You can't judge people by, you know, the folks around you. You have to open your eyes and be open, you know, to enlightenment. But I enjoyed all three of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
For my impromptu music.
Victor.
First, you say I rather enjoyed the reading of the play, not at first, but as I got into it, I kind of was like brought into the message. I believe I recognized early on that the suitcase was merely a metaphor of the content within the themes that were exemplified in the dialogue that transpired between the husband and the wife. And one thing that was interesting to me was after 40 years of being together as a husband and a wife and being faithful in their marriage, they're looking back over their lives in retrospect, and these philosophical issues and questions come to mind. And the wife, especially seemingly to me, as I interacted with the dialogue, you know, mentally and emotionally and otherwise, perhaps even spiritually, was the question of what is love? Do you love me? And then the meaning of our being together. It took me to a depth because, you know, 40 years of adulthood in marriage with two people, see, you've lived long enough in all likelihood to have reached a place in your maturity where you look back over your life and you start examining things. You know, what if I had done thus and such, I could have had a career. Or perhaps I would have found happiness if I had hit the lottery. You know, so I saw some amazing themes. You know, the hope of a better life. I hit the jackpot. You know, if I had had this career, more opportunity and advantage would have come into my life. And then the question of love, which seemed to be a deep issue that lacked an answer.
Still, all the way through.
You know, and say nothing about the introduction of gender identity based upon events in the person's life. So I thought it was a compliment.
It's, to me, in my view, it is really hard for a teenager to say, this is my soulmate. I just can't believe that. You haven't even lived yet. Yet people have gotten married at that age, where I know, I'm sure you know too, and you know, and build a family, whatever. But they said, this is my soulmate, I love this person. And it could be, I don't really know for sure, but I just know for being at an age of a teenager, how many times do you know, say, this is what I really want to do? How many times have you said that? You know, this is the person I really want to be with. How many times have you said that? You know, but circumstances bring that connection together. You know, and it'll keep it going together because also too, you are a product of your environment, so you had to see it as well. You know, it doesn't come out, nothing comes out of thin air. You know, this conversation doesn't come out of thin air between them. They've seen it in their own lives, and it's got to be better because he sent me this letter and it's something cute or something different. He paid attention to me. You know, he gave me some attention that I didn't get at home. You know, and vice versa, he said too. Well, you know, she's not bad. You know, she's giving me some attention. I'm kind of a quiet person, and you know, why not? That could work. And then you put a stamp on it and say we must love each other because we built this empire.
When she hugged the, I loved it when Khadija hugged the suitcase. And that really stood out to me, and it was like, okay, so all this pain, all of this, these distractions, all of the maybes, you know, there was a spin, okay, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent in it, but she hugged it, and it was like, wow. And I thought, whoa. Yeah. And then you put it down. And that just spoke a lot. You just sometimes just letting that go to say forward. Do you know what I mean? And that's, I loved it when you did it.
That makes me wonder, I'm sorry. When we do realize that Or do we realize that after all the things that we thought with the suitcase, then it wasn't really so bad that we still had each other? And, you know, I don't know if I don't want to put an idea, or was it just me that saw that? We're really glad that it wasn't as bad off and got an appreciation for where we were in that comfort zone. Is that?
Well, that's.
I know when I asked you that question, I didn't know, but I was wondering if I was.
Why does it have to be, you know, a parting of ways? Why couldn't it be like that realization, like, but maybe within the relationship, we do need to
Yep.
follow our own paths within the relationship and honor what's good about what's, you know.
I'm so sorry.
Let's get our own damn suitcase.
I just have a quick question. So what was the symbol that?
Did you have something for you? Did you have something? No.
Everything was very good.
Oh,
Thank you.
Why couldn't you get the suitcase open?
Oh, my bag. I'm
What
bad.
did it mean by not being able?